Hello, Cancer. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is your general read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Psychic Tarot of the Heart Oracle deck by, his name is probably in the front, John Holland. It's not in the back here. There probably is, I'm just not seeing it. Yeah, it is. It's there. For the supportive Oracle cards, the Magical Unicorn cards by Doreen Virtue. Haven't used this deck in a while. Haven't used either of them in a while, to tell you the truth, but it freshens things up, gives me a different perspective, so let's see what we got. Okay. The Oracle cards are face down. Let's see where this is going. This is more for you. Okay, but we're going to see what we're pulling in here. You're starting with the choose your battles. So I'm getting what this seems to be coming from or leading out of. I feel like you're coming out of a time. This period might be over for you and you're coming out of it. It's not a spot, I don't feel like there was a lot of arguments, but it's kind of like who do you want to confront? What's worth confronting? You got past a situation. And I do feel like you had to stand up for yourself a little bit, but I feel like you circumvented a lot of it, mostly because it just seemed unnecessary and you didn't want to create more problems down the road. Now, what I'm getting from this is like you took it and you were very careful, but I'm also getting, I got the just be yourself, and this was face down, but I feel like that's because they don't want this to influence until we've gone through the information. The just be yourself is telling me that like you didn't overstep any bounds. I don't feel like you overstepped anything, but I do feel like you did hold back some of the things you wanted and some of the things you felt. And I'm getting in the future, you might have to bring this forward, things that you stepped away from in the past to like not create problems down the road. Like you purposely didn't say things or didn't address things because you thought to yourself, what's the purpose of bringing that in now when it just might, backfire on me later? Or like, I might create animosities later down the road. And I feel like you kind of bit your tongue a bit. But I'm getting that just be yourself is like there's certain things that I feel like will come back around. And I feel like you just need to be aware of like certain things. If there's if there's certain things or something in particular that's not sitting with you right, and it's still kind of like you're talking yourself out of saying something, you're kind of like, oh, yeah, that still bothers me a little, but I don't want to be creating the heavy energy comes in. I don't want to be creating a problem about that. Like, it was just a minimal thing. Like, for example, common courtesy wasn't extended your way, or you did something nice for somebody and they just acted like they didn't want it, or, they didn't really appreciate it. Because I feel like it's something along those lines. Like, you did something nice and you were trying to be nice to people and they took it for granted or something like that. And you were like, it's not worth bringing up right now. But as time goes on, it still kind of bothers you, but you're like, no, I'm just going to let that go. But they're saying if it's still coming around in your brain, you're going to have to address it at some point. Because I'm getting here the observe on your side. If there's something that's still bothering you that you let go in the past for the purpose of getting along, I'm getting the observe here is like you're feeling like that situation is repeating. And whatever bothered you before, you're afraid is going to come around again. For example, if you did something nice and somebody just took it for granted or just didn't seem very thankful for it and it just sat with you the wrong way, you're starting to see where they expect that same behavior from you all the time, and they don't feel like they need to be thankful for it, that they just expect you to do it. And I'm getting that's the observe. Like if you're noticing something that bothered you in the past is repeating itself and you're seeing that it's kind of getting worse, you're going to have to address it anyway. It's one thing to just try to get along and just like somebody said something out of turn, but it was just like an oops slips and they shouldn't have said something, but they kind of like moved on from it and let it go. And you're like, well, it was a moment. Everybody has their moment. I'm moving on. And you can let it go. That's one thing. But if it's one of those things where somebody got away with something once and they're feeling like, well, I got away with it that time, maybe I can get away with it again. And it's kind of sticking with you, like, I don't like this, you're going to probably have to address it at some point. Because what I'm getting here is that I do feel it's repeating. Whatever you're letting go because you just want to get along, you're seeing it happen again. And I'm getting you didn't ask for something, you didn't address something that bothered you. And the whole reason you didn't, I'm getting, is because you wanted to get along. You're just like, I'll just let it go because it's not worth making a hiccup about. I'm getting here with the beckoning, opportunity beckons. I feel like, especially the way this person feels on this card to me, you're kind of sitting there and you're like, I let that go once. I let that go once. I feel like you're giving some type of nonverbal signal. Like I'm getting, you're either something's happening, like it's a repeat, and I just feel like you're either you have like a pause or a look on your face, or something is making it just slightly, like you're dropping the hint, like I don't like that. That is not okay. Opportunity beckons. This is telling me it's happening again, but I feel the way this person is on this card, you're dropping nonverbal hints. Because you're like, oh, I don't want to make a problem. I don't want to be an issue about this, but I don't know if I can stand for this if this is going to continue to happen. Now, what I'm getting on the other side, you got 3 cards for what's going on the other side. They got awaiting the results, to wondering, it seems like they're catching on, but they're wondering if it's just, I feel like they might be taking it like, oh, is this person just in a mood? Like you, the Cancer, are you just in a mood at the moment? But they got true and light on this side, which, now the way this is feeling to me is like they know better. They know better. It doesn't matter if you're in a mood or not. They know that this is a line that should not be crossed, and they know that they're pushing it. They know they're pushing their buttons, and they know they're pushing their luck. They know that they're overstepping their bounds, whatever. And the awaiting results is like, it seems like they're seeing like, well, can I still get away with it? I don't feel them backing down. Like, I feel like they know, but they're like, you know what, maybe if I just ignore that look, or however you, like it's a nonverbal response is what I'm getting. They're feeling like if they ignore it, maybe it doesn't matter, and they can just kind of keep going the way they want to. They know better, though. I'm getting it very strongly that whoever this is you're dealing with true light and the waiting results, all 3 of these together, like there's just seeing if they can get away with it, but they know better. They know better. I'm getting very, like they got the hint. And this, you were being nice, like I don't want to say something, so you're trying to be okay with it. You're trying to give them a nonverbal hint. You're not trying to make a big issue, but you're making it, I feel like you're kind of making it clear that you're not okay with it, whatever it is. Now, this card is another tricky one, but you got dedicated effort, and then I got the brothers and sisters card popping in here. This is a tricky card because it doesn't have to mean literally brothers and sisters, but sometimes like that's the closeness of this connection. Like it's people that you very much care about and you'd like to let stuff go, but sometimes, you know, it's the people you're most comfortable with. Sometimes you can tell your true feelings to. And I'm getting the dedicated effort is like you value this relationship. Whoever this person is, you value them very greatly, and they value you too. But I'm getting like you're really starting to look at the situation like, what do I need to do to fix this? And I feel like it feels like you're still trying to not say anything again, which to me feels very interesting. Because the way I'm pulling in this information, it feels like, I don't want to make a big issue of this. I'm getting that again. I want to get along. I want to see, I want everybody to be okay. And I'm getting, though, that like these people mean a lot to you and you mean a lot to them. I get that with the brothers and sisters, but I'm getting like, you know what, maybe you need to talk about this with somebody who's close to you and talk it out with someone else. It took me long enough to get there. Because this card in the center, like I feel like you might need to talk it out with somebody else, what's going on and what you're experiencing and how you're feeling about that and what your end goal is and why you've been handling it the certain way. Somebody who understands like the situation, or at least will understand like your point of view and why you've been handling it a certain way, and like trying to find another fresh way to handle it because you're not really comfortable with how things are currently going. I'm getting a third party that you really trust. I feel like that's better for this card. Somebody who you feel is going to understand how you feel and kind of like see your side of things, like you don't want to make a big issue, but you need to kind of address this, will give you a fresh perspective on how to handle it. Because I'm getting that's how this is coming in for you with the win-lose. I'm getting you have to change how you're handling this. The nonverbal thing I don't feel is working. And I'm getting that brothers and sisters is more for you. It doesn't have to be a literal brother or sister, but somebody who understands your point of view, your perspective, and you can talk this out with. Explain why you've been handling it a certain way, why it's not working, and how, like, I want to make sure this keeps getting along well, but I need to handle this differently. I need some ideas about other ways to handle this, because you might get an ally here that helps you kind of circumvent the situation, depending on how this goes. Because I'm getting the win or lose. It's kind of like you need to go a different direction. What's currently happening isn't working, so you have to go a different direction, and it's either gonna fly or flop. It's either gonna take off or it's gonna fly or flop. I'm getting this is more like changing direction is your win. If you keep going the same way you have been and just kind of ignoring the situation or trying to let it go, I just feel like it's going to get worse, and to the point where you're going to say something because you're upset. Okay? Where is this ending? The Master card. And you'll notice the Master card shows a heart in a cage. It's like they're showing their heart is contained. I'm getting you're handling this differently. Hopefully you're handling this differently. It's a general read, I get that. But I'm getting you're kind of taking your emotions out of this. It's not about people getting along or liking you. It's about standing up for what's right and feeling comfortable and secure in the situation. I feel like you're keeping your emotions out of it as much as you can. And you're just putting out bare bones. Like, this is happening. I don't like this. I don't think this is right for these reasons. I'm not looking to make a big deal about it, but this needs to stop. Like, I feel like it almost feels like it's just to the point. It's just kind of like just the facts. Because I feel like with the heart contained in the Master, like, you're taking your emotions out of the situation and you're just talking to this person. And it's just very analytical. Like, this is what's happening. This is what I don't like, and this is why I don't like it. So I need that to change. I just don't feel like you're going through a whole emotional story about it. It's just basically, I lent you money, you took that for granted and didn't pay me back, I want you to pay me back. Like, it's that cut and dry. Or, I lent you money, you seem to think I am the Bank of America here. I am not. I need you to do something to repay me or show that this is going somewhere good. Like, I'm just feeling like whatever it is that's happening, I don't know why it's so centered around money, but it seems to be. Even if it's like, for example, we'll take this a little different. You needed a ride to work. I gave you a ride to work. You seem to think I'm just here. You seem to be just like thinking I'm just going to do this without any qualms. But when I come to pick you up, I wait 10 to 15 minutes before you finally come out or you're ready to actually go. I need you to be ready to go when I get there. I need to be on schedule. Like, if that's the thing, like, for example, you're giving somebody a ride to work. I like you. I don't mind giving you a ride to work, but you need to be ready when I get there. I don't like sitting around for 10 to 15 minutes and then end up, just making it to work on time or possibly being late, or just it's sucking up some of my time. If I'm going to pick you up, I need you to be ready when I'm there. That type of thing. Or, like, at least explain to me what's going on, because I don't think this is right. Like, we need to work this out better. You're just getting, like, this is what's happening, this is what I don't like, and this is why I need it to change. It's not about the whole emotional, like, oh, I know your life is hard and you got a lot going on. You're not even going that route. It's just like, I show up as a favor to bring you to work. You're not ready for 10 to 15, I have to wait 10 to 15 minutes. I don't like that. It makes me late, or it takes away time from my job that I need. I need you to be there. I need you to be ready on time. That's all I need. And if you can't do that, I need you to explain to me why, and then maybe we're going to have to change things. I just feel like you're getting right to the point. I just feel like the Master card is telling me you're not putting your emotions in it. Like, you're not saying I'm upset or like I'm doing this favor for you and you're taking advantage of me. You're not going down that road. It's just, this is what's happening. This is what I don't like. This is what I need to happen. And I feel like that's the best way to handle it. Are we done? I feel like that's where we're ending with this. All right. I'm going to wrap that up there. Thank you for watching. If you would like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email. James4astral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4 astral@gmail.com. Thank you.